Uzbekistan is a country with a vast and very interesting history. Throughout its history, cultures and traditions have changed on its territory. The Uzbek people have formed over many centuries alongside other nations of Central Asia. Nowadays, countries often argue about the historical claims of various states. However, I believe that the history of Central Asia was collective for a long time, when terms like Uzbek, Tajik, or Kazakh did not even exist yet. From ancient times, the land of modern Uzbekistan was inhabited by people who evolved over time. In the 7th 6th centuries BC, the first states of Sogdiana, Bactria, and Khwarazm emerged. During this period, the ancient cities of Uzbekistan, such as Samarkand, Bukhara, and Khiva, were built. The religion of Zoroastrianism spread across these lands, which is the faith in the teachings of the prophet Zoroaster about the struggle between good and evil. This religion is considered one of the oldest in the world and has monotheistic traits. However, in the 6th century BC, Cyrus II of the Achaemenid dynasty came to Central Asia and managed to incorporate the region into his empire. Many uprisings were organized against Persian rule, but this came to an end with another great conqueror, Alexander the Great. Over the course of 10 years, Alexander conquered all Persian lands, including Central Asia, spreading the Greek kingdom over the conquered territories. He adopted both Bactrian, local, and Greek cultures, and as a result, in 250 BC, the Greco-Bactrian kingdom was formed, combining Bactrian and Greek traditions. With the development of trade and external ties with other states, trade routes began to emerge, and people started exchanging knowledge. Thanks to this, Buddhism, Hinduism, and later Christianity began to spread in Central Asia. The Greco-Bactrian kingdom was destroyed under the attack of the nomadic Yuezhi tribes, who founded the Kushan Empire. This empire quickly turned into an empire that stretched along trade routes and irrigation canals. Crafts and trade were developing, but the most significant achievement was the creation of the Great Silk Road, which became the main route connecting China with Western countries and reaching Europe in the 3rd and 5th centuries AD. In the Kushan Empire, fragmentation began due to unsuccessful wars with the Persians. Eventually, power in Central Asia was seized by the Ephthalite tribes, also known as the White Huns, who became the successors of the Kushan Empire. However, they were soon defeated by new forces in the 6th century. From the north came Turkic tribes that established the Turkic Khaganate. They quickly conquered all of Central Asia, Altai, and Mongolia, creating a vast empire. It was from this time that Turkic tribes began to appear in Central Asia, which now constitute the basis of the region's population. The Turks had a significant influence on the local population, leading to the assimilation of peoples and cultural exchange. However, the Turkic Khaganate could not control all of its lands due to its vast size and soon began to fragment into small, independent principalities. In the 6th century, the birth of Islam occurred along with the emergence of the Arab Caliphate. The caliphs sought to spread Islam throughout the world, and Central Asia was no exception. Throughout the 7th and 8th centuries, the Arabs conquered entire regions. They introduced Islam to Central Asia, which became the main religion here, while Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, Hinduism, and shamanism lost their influence. Most importantly, thanks to the Arabs, Central Asia experienced a flourishing of science, with madrasas and academies being established. Among the notable scholars from Uzbekistan were Al-Harizmi, Al-Farghani, Al-Farabi, Avicenna, Al-Biruni, and others. They made tremendous contributions to the development of world sciences, unmatched by any other country. However, over time, the power of the Arabs began to decline, and local states such as the Tahirids, Safarids, and Samanids emerged in Central Asia, with the latter becoming more successful. Under the Samanids, Bukhara became one of the world's centers of science and religion. Mawara Nahar, as the Arabs called the lands of Central Asia, was one of the richest regions on the planet. A distinctive feature of this region was its settled population, which led to the widespread development of various crafts and trades. In the 10th to 11th centuries, the states of the Karakhanids and Ghaznavids existed, constantly battling each other. However, the Seljuks, another Turkic group, eventually settled their rivalry and rapidly annexed all of Central Asia, continuing their conquests westward into Europe. The Seljuk Empire became the strongest in the world, but not for long, as the country began to fracture into parts, one of which was Khwarezm. The Khwarezm Shah state became the most powerful in Central Asia, growing stronger, with rulers even planning to conquer all of Asia. Economically, the Khwarezm Empire was the most developed. The empire founded by Genghis Khan in 1206 began its invasion of Central Asia. Khwarezm Shah Jalal ad-Din Manguberdi heroically attempted to defend his homeland against the invaders, but it was futile to resist the Mongols, who tore through everything in their path. Jalal ad-Din Manguberdi became a national hero of Uzbekistan for fighting to preserve his country. However, Central Asia fell under Mongol influence and became part of the Chagatai Khanate. The result of the Mongol conquests was a sharp decline in population, the collapse of trade and crafts, and the brutal destruction of cultural monuments and books. Consequently, the level of scientific knowledge in Central Asia plummeted. Bukhara and Samarkand, which had recently been world centers, turned into ruins. The unifier of the country was Amir Timur, known in Europe as Tamerlane. He began the struggle for liberation from the harsh Mongol yoke and succeeded in defeating the Mongols by 1370, founding his Timurid Empire. Amir Timur is regarded as the greatest ruler in Uzbekistan's history, known to every schoolchild, and rightly so, as he ended Mongol rule. Samarkand became the capital of the empire, where the construction of new majestic structures began. Tamerlane started the conquest of other lands, ultimately managing to conquer Persia, Mesopotamia, the Caucasus, Egypt, and northern India, defeating the strongest empires of his time, the Ottoman Empire, the Golden Horde, and the Mamluk. The 25th century is considered a return to past cultural development. During the rule of the Timurids, great poets, scholars, and artists such as Alisher Navoy, Lutfi, and Mirza Ulugh Beg thrived. However, over time, the power of the Timurids weakened, and members of the dynasty began to constantly fight among themselves. In 1501, the Bukhara Khanate was founded under the dynasty of the Shaybanids, with Shaybani Khan, a distant descendant of Genghis Khan, as its founder. Soon, two more Khanates, Khiva and Kokand, separated from Bukhara. This period, lasting from the 15th to the 19th century, is referred to as the period of the three Khanates. During this time, Asian countries experienced a crisis due to their isolation from Western nations, leading to a decline of Uzbekistan as a great empire. Eventually, in the 19th century, the Russian Empire began its conquest of Central Asia, first annexing Kazakhstan, and later the Uzbek Khanates. In Uzbekistan, the power of the Russian Empire was established, and after its dissolution and the creation of the Soviet Union, the Uzbek Soviet Socialist Republic was formed. We will not go further into this as it pertains to modern history that everyone knows. Ultanat. The great ruler died in 1405, and his legacy was continued by his descendants, the Timurids.